Hello, Trade King traders. I'm Rob Smith from Smith in the Black at T3Live.com here at Trade King. And to start off this week, we're finishing off a short month after a short week. And so we had a tight consolidation you can see here in the Dow right here. And what's interesting about this is it's a consolidation here to see if we can try and make another run to the highs or if this is an exhaustion up in here. Now, we don't have an inside day in the Dow, but we do have a lot to start off the week, which makes things interesting here. As the inside bars is an equilibrium, so it's either a rest or an exhaustion. And so if we want to start off here, let's take a look at a few on the daily. You've got AT&T here starting off here. So once again, it does close near the lows, but it's still an inside day. So I want to see if it can recover and break back toward the highs or drop off. And what's interesting here in AT&T is also an inside week. Right, so it's really dried up in here, and remember on my charts, the last bar, and I'll shrink that down so you can see it, the last bar on the weekly on the weekends is actually a daily bar, so it shows me how this bar is set up. So you can see this inside week with the inside day. So we'll see if AT&T can break one way or the other off these two equilibriums. Also with Verizon, you can see this is an inside day as well, to see if this is just still within the greater lower highs, and then inside day exhaustion and back down, or try and make a push higher. We also have Boeing as an inside day here. You can see how it comes up once again to see if this consolidation can go up sideways, measured move, and continue back up towards the triangle. Or if this is all she wrote, a little push back up and drop back in. If we go to JP Morgan, you're going to see inside day really dried up there. And this is on a pullback, so this has come back. So we'll see if this little trend here is correct. And this is just a pullback and exhaustion of that selling and then resume buying, or down, sideways rest, and measured move. So the Monday's going to be proved to be interesting here. If we go to ExxonMobil, also you can see this is starting off as an inside day. If you go to Walmart, you can also see that as an inside day and near the lows. If you go to UNH, inside day here once again, is this the exhaustion of the move or the measured move? If we go to Visa, that again also right in the middle of this consolidation here, and Travelers as well. So what's interesting too is to watch. You can see stuff like Exxon here. If it starts to break one way or the other, you can also equate that with Chevron, which has been underperforming here comparatively. So then we could also look at the inside weeks. Are they powerful enough just for the opening on Monday to start breaking either of these things? Are they powerful enough to take out some of the inside weeks? And so if we look at some of the inside weeks, you'll see Cisco here, once again the middle of this range, to see if it's going to drop back in or try and take out this trend line here. If you go to, once again, we know AT&T. You also have Procter & Gamble is an inside week. Remember on the weeklies, this is just Friday. So this inside week here for Procter, see if this is just a reaction from this selling and then back down, or a rest before more buying. So we're going to watch on either side of that. If you look at Home Depot, also an inside week, and Johnson & Johnson, also an inside week. So not only does this evidence of which side of these inside days do they break, but it can also give us an indication of which way the Dow is going. If there's a significant break of either of these going one way or the other, or if some go up, some goes down, we can expect more of a consolidation in the broader average. So we're looking for all these breaks, and then we can break that down and say, well, if most of these are breaking to the upside or the downside, we can look into see if you get other types of signals and stuff that we already know, at least up to this point, are outperforming. So you look at something like Nike that's been acting well. You can look at something like Cat Tractor, right, that's near the highs of this move, and Disney. Should the market move higher, that perhaps these ones that have been outperforming might continue. We don't know, but it's something to take a look at and then evaluate for yourself on whatever types of setups that you look for. And then if we start to break down, you can see something like General Electric starting off the week, having a tough time here, dropping back in and almost bearish engulfing here on the weekly. And also Coca-Cola, which has been having a tough time, and Chevron. So this is how some of the ways we can use just the Dow 30 to gauge some potential movement, the outperformance, underperformance, whether that continues, and the inside bar breaks. And so even if you get this video after Monday and you've already seen it, you can go back and evaluate what is happening, and I'll touch on that. I'm going to be back here next week. Because next week we got the new month of March, and so at the beginning of the month I like to look for these inside bars in the monthly charts, and so as of last month we saw some nice inside month end go in the MYGN. If you look at this FANG here in the energies, side-by-side monthly hammers and an inside hammer to the upside, and CLR also in the energies. So this is why we look for these, because once these equilibriums break on a monthly basis, we can look for shorter term setups once they break above to see if they can continue. And so just like that on a monthly, when we look at something like Boeing on the daily, it doesn't mean it's just going to do a straight break off an inside bar. Once it does, we would look for shorter term continuation patterns as well as the overall market. So just something interesting to start off this week. I'll touch on it next week, how these things played out. No matter when you watch this, go back and take a look and see if we had clean breaks on some of these inside bars, or if they went down and came back in. Because remember, they're in equilibrium. Once they break, we look for further continuation. Once they return in there, the equilibrium is once again met. And so we're looking for these breaks to stay outside and then further confirmation. So that's going to do it for this week. Looking forward to a new month. I'll see you next week here at Trade King. I'm Rob Smith for Smith in the Black at T3 Live here at Trade King. Hoping you all have a great week.